I invite 16-year-old Jaewon Choi, Executive Director of DMUN and thematic focal point in the Financing for Development, Children and Youth constituency of the Major Group for Children and Youth, to deliver a keynote statement. Mr. Choi, you have the floor now.
Your Excellency, Ambassador Lok Bahadur Thapa, President of the Economic and Social Council, Your Excellency Ambassador Annalena Baerbock, President of the General Assembly, Your Excellency Amina Mohammed, Deputy Secretary General, Excellencies, distinguished colleagues, fellow children and youth. Today should be a day of joy, a day for all young people to celebrate the United Nations and the impact it has accomplished. Yet, are we truly here on a moment to celebrate? Every 4.4 seconds, a young person dies. They die from malnutrition, from preventable disease, from violence, from natural disasters, and the tragedy of being excluded from every system that was mandated to protect them. I come from a small island in the Republic of Korea, more than 11,000 miles away from the United Nations headquarters. For a very long time, the United Nations has felt very distant from me, not simply in terms of physical proximity, but in every meaningful sense. Growing up in a country that has experienced colonization, independence, division, war, and economic growth in less than a century, I am no stranger to the importance of peace, justice, and inclusion, the sacrosanct values that this organization is charged to uphold. Yet, I never felt that this place was for me. I believe that a child from a small island on a whole other continent would never have any place inside it. Coming closer to the UN from this lens has taught me two fundamental lessons. First, multilateralism still matters. The idea that dialogue can prevent war, that intergovernmental cooperation can defend justice, and that our institutions can be built to serve all of humanity, no matter age, is one I feel is worth fighting for. But I also saw how far these institutions can be isolated from the people most impacted by its decisions. The distance I felt as a child never fully disappeared, but it only passed on to the next generation, who once again look at these halls and ponder whether any of this is for them. Dear friends, it is a common fact that we live in an ever riskier, ever vulnerable world. Climate change is disrupting livelihoods. Armed conflict is separating children from their families. Poverty is increasing rather than declining. Amid these crises, let me make one thing very clear. We are the ones who will and are already inheriting the consequences of every decision that is formed or avoided. We deserve the fundamental right to be part of making these decisions through meaningful, effective, and inclusive engagement. To grow up well means to live a healthy, safe, and fulfilling life. Young people require access to the basic conditions that allow them to build a meaningful future, including decent jobs, education, community participation, and most importantly, the ability to shape their own lives for the better. Yet right now, for billions of young people across the world, these inalienable conditions are being actively taken away. The gap between what is promised and what is experienced is too wide for us to ignore. Fellow young people, I want to conclude today by offering my response to the very question I asked at the beginning of my speech. Are we truly in the moment to celebrate? I would answer, no, not yet. Not while every 4.4 seconds a child or young person dies from something we could have prevented. Not while education is cut off for girls just because of their gender identity. Not while young people remain excluded and silenced because of their age. But I still came here today because I believe that multilateralism, at its best, is the most powerful tool that humanity has ever collectively created to protect the vulnerable and defend the future. However, that belief must be complemented by action. Real action, urgent action, reformed action, action that travels beyond this room, action that reaches that child who has never once felt that any of this was built for them. Thank you very much.
I thank Mr. Choi for his keynote statement. Excellency,